everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is our Pop Century Resort review from 2018 when we stayed at that resort. We stayed at Pop Century in the last week of November and first week of December of 2018 for 2 weeks. So this was our longest stay ever on property because it was 14 nights.
Yeah.
Or was it 15 nights because we had to add on an extra night? I think it might have been 15 nights.
15, but I still think the longest we'd been before that was like 13.
13.
We still hadn't stayed 2 full weeks.
Yeah, so yeah, we stayed for 15 nights at Pop Century. So I remember when we went to check in, the guy was like, wow, you guys are camping here. And we're like,
yeah.
Well, yeah, we are. So coming all the way from Australia or from England, like the UK, I know a lot of us, we tend to stay for a longer period of time than a lot of the Americans do. It was Christmas while we were there, so the resort did look different. Only because it was decorated with Christmas decorations. Everything else was the same, but just like they added Christmas decorations, so it made it even better because we love Christmas. I don't know if this doesn't make this review biased because we're talking about things that aren't Christmas, but being Christmas made it 1000% better in my opinion. I think any resort is better when it's decorated for Christmas. We booked a standard room, just a normal standard room, not a preferred, not a pool view. I think that's all you can get at that resort is preferred or pool view. So we just booked a standard room. Our flights ended up working out how we wanted them to, so we had to come in a day early. So technically we had 2 reservations at Pop Century. One was just for 1 night and the rest was for 14 nights. We were very fortunate enough when we booked in and they realized we were staying another 14 nights. We did ask, we're like, look, is it possible for the room that you give us now, can we then have it for 14 nights? And they were great with that. They gave us the same room for the entire time. Lucky. So I'm gonna put a map up of Pop Century. It's not as big as Caribbean Beach. It's not that big of a resort. No. It's so we've stayed at Caribbean Beach and Port Orleans Riverside for long stays. For other resorts we've only done 1 night, so I can't really include them because we didn't really walk around the whole resort. So this is probably the smallest resort we have stayed at. It's not that big, and we were in building 3. I knew we were in the 50s area, and looking at the map I know exactly where we stayed, and I've hopefully put a circle around that so you can see exactly where we stayed. So yeah, that was where we stayed. We stayed in the 50s. So in case you didn't know, Pop Century is separated by decades. So you've got the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. What we learned is the 90s is actually just 1 building, not a whole lot of buildings, unlike every other decade. Every other decade has a whole cluster of buildings, but the 90s is literally just the one building like at the back, right near the 80s. So God, my dog is in a really, she's like lying on my foot and it's sort of really annoying. God bless. So that is where we stayed. That's the room we booked. We just booked a standard. We got thankfully given that room, and it was an amazing location. It was. Like, the resort was small. We could have easily had a worse location. Like if we had the 90s, would have been a lot of a longer walk at night to get back to. But it still wouldn't have been that bad. Wouldn't have been as bad as like if you got put in Jamaica or like across the river at Riverside. But there are different bus stops there as well, so difference. But yeah, it was a really great location. Like every single other, which I've only done 2 others, but like every single other review video I've done, I'm gonna stick to the same categories so these videos are consistent. I was literally looking at the categories that I made. I'm like, I don't know why I named them this, but oh well, I did. And those other 2 videos are up and they're still going, so I'm sticking with those categories. I think you might have got them from one of the Disney books we had, and they rated them. Maybe that's where I got it from. Categories, and I think we used those names. Yeah, that could have been where I got it from. Let's get on to the different categories at this resort because I really don't want this video to go on for forever. Quality, the first category. This is covering cleanliness and maintenance. So the quality was quite good, especially, I know we're not talking about like costs, but in talking about the quality for what we did pay, I think the quality was worth it. Like, it was a great resort. I was actually impressed. Like, it exceeded my expectations. Like, I always thought it'd be a cool resort, but because people are like, oh, it's just a value and stuff like that, I sort of thought, oh, you know, it's not going to be as nice as some of the resorts we've been to in the past because we've generally done moderates for our biggest days. So, you know, I was sort of thinking that, but I got there and I was like, wow, I love this resort. Like, I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did. I just want to note something as well with quality. I feel like this would have a very different answer if we had have stayed in Pop Century before it got renovated. So if you don't know, in 2017, I believe, I could be wrong with my years, maybe at the start of 2017, this resort got completely refurbed. So every room got a new fit out, and that new fit out is absolutely amazing. It is so amazing that all the all-star resorts are getting the exact same fit out because people just love it, and I agree, and I just thought it was the greatest thing ever. So I just want to add that in, that we technically were in a newly renovated, I say newly, like it's probably like maybe 2 years max since it had been renovated, so I still say that's pretty new considering how old the resort is. But yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, and I agree that does change the, like, for the quality of what we got, the room quality was great for the resort, that like for a value resort, that exceeded our expectations as well. We didn't, we knew the renovation had happened, but you know, we'd never been in the room and we'd heard so much about what the values used to be like. We had stayed in an all-star, so I guess we had known what the room sort of used to be like. But yeah, so like maintenance, the resort was always, there was always people working on the gardens, like everything was really nice.
But even in the rooms, because they were so new, there wasn't really nothing out of place. Like they didn't, the rooms didn't need any maintenance because I guess they were just newly renovated.
Broken or nothing like damaged or scuffed or really anything. We didn't pick anything like that. The only thing we did have was a slight issue with cleaning. So it was,
so the dog's barking,
yeah, you can hear the dog's bark. So we did have a few issues with cleaning. We're not sure maybe if they were a bit understaffed, like we didn't have these issues at the other resorts, but we just found that even, because most of the days we would be out at the parks, we'd sometimes come home for a nap or swim or stuff like that, but most of the day we were out of the room, and there were some days where they didn't come and clean our room. Yeah. So, and part of us was like, they did offer us at the start to do that thing where you can opt out of cleaning and you get extra,
like you get $10 a day.
Yeah, give them money back. Yeah. And we didn't do that, and they did come and clean our room.
We just like them coming in to mainly empty our bins and all that. We don't really care about towels. We reuse our towels, but at least for like a week, and then we want new ones, because obviously we're staying for 2 weeks, so that's like a bit gross. Same with like bed sheets. Wouldn't expect them to do it every day. Yeah. But at least like that once a week. So it's like I get a clean set another week. And so we just found that it wasn't consistent. Like we could pretty much tell like if our beds were made. That's how we could tell, and like obviously they would have emptied the bins and stuff, and we did tend to have a lot of rubbish. A lot of rubbish. I don't know how, but we always seem to have like a lot of rubbish, so it actually did impact us on the days that they didn't come, because those rubbish bins are quite small like this big. Yeah. You brought a whole lot of stuff in the park, so you need to throw a whole lot of crap out.
So that was an issue, because we're like, oh, they didn't, like, because they didn't clean, like we'd probably be, oh yeah, it's not a big deal, but I think because they didn't empty the bins and it was starting to overflow, we're like, oh no.
Yeah. The only other thing we noticed as well is obviously we put our bags, so at Pop Century, the beds are lifted off the ground, so you can easily put your bags underneath them, which is great. And I think Disney's trying to incorporate that into all their resorts now, because they realize it's such a good feature. But like if you put your bag in and then you pulled it back out, like a whole lot of dirt would follow.
Like dust.
And it's like, I get that they can't get under there, you know, because this is on the bed that stays down all the time. Yeah. I get that they couldn't get under there, but it was a bit gross. And we noticed that too in another area, like an bit. Was it under the main, underneath where the TV was, where the drawers
that
were?
Like cabinet
I think that was like dirt, and it's like, okay, like I get it, that's hard to reach, but like I feel like it should always be cleaned, like maybe not every day while we're there, but maybe before we got there, because I can tell you right now, we didn't make that dirt was there before we got there. So it's like at least clean fully under there before the next lot of guests come. But apart from that, like the cleanliness of the resort was really good. There wasn't like rubbish lying around everywhere. I don't think there's any rubbish. Oh my god, this stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's ever any rubbish at any Disney resort lying around. Like I said, you always saw people working and whatnot. So it wasn't, and the cleaners wasn't that bad. Yeah, the cleaners were really nice.
And they did do cute things for us, like when they did clean our rooms, they would put our pillow pets on our beds and, you know, put our ears and do fun, cute things like that. And, you know, they were good when they did the cleaning.
We decided, due to those small little things, because majority overall, it was great. So we gave it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. You know, maybe we could give it a 7, I don't know, because of those little issues. So it was pretty good. So overall, we gave it an 8 out of 10, because that's what we think Pop Century reserves. So the reserves deserves. So on to the next category. We are going to talk about transport, which is one of the main categories I think, at any resort, because that is what you care about. So Pop Century,
especially us not driving a car.
Yeah, we're not
we
American.
rely on the transport.
I am not driving in that country. They drive on the wrong side of the road to me. I think I would be terrified. Transport. At Pop Century, there is only one mode of transport, soon to be two. Soon it will have two modes of transport, but currently when we went, it's just one. And that is the lovely bus system, which every single resort has a bus system.
Yes.
It just usually has a bus system, then some will have more than that. But yeah, Pop only has the bus system, soon getting the Skyliner, which are the gondolas which go through the sky.
Yep.
So yeah, we had the bus system. Now, unlike any other resort we had stayed at previously, this resort only had one bus stop.
Yes.
Because it is a value resort, and all value resorts just have the one bus stop, which is outside their main building, which has the food court and the check-in area, and that is where the bus stop is.
Yeah.
So previously
right
we stayed at Caribbean Beach, we stayed at Port Orleans Riverside, and there were bus stops for the different little areas. This one, you all went to the one spot, there was no confusion. That is where the bus comes and like picks you up and drops you off.
I was a bit worried, like, because we hadn't done that before, where there's just the one bus stop for the whole resort. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna like it or not, but I actually liked it.
Yeah, it was really easy. You knew where you had to get on the bus, and you knew where you're going to get off the bus. There was no, which bus stop should I get off, which one's closest to my area, blah, blah, blah. So it was really good. We were incredibly impressed with the bus system at Pop Century. Now, I believe this bus system is so good is because this resort is usually always booked.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
popular.
at capacity, like, they don't have rooms left. So the buses just come constantly. Like, I don't think we really had to wait more than 20 minutes for a bus, even at the end of the night at a park, because the buses just kept coming. Like, the max we waited was 20 minutes and would be on the third bus, but it was like a bus would come, it would fill up, that would pull away,
as soon as it
next
left,
one would come in.
So
that's what it was like at Magic Kingdom, for example. Epcot, it was like every 20 minutes a bus sort of came. But if there were a lot of people there, obviously the workers are there on walkie-talkies, they would get more buses for that resort. So I think this is one of the it's a perk of staying at Pop Century or Art of Animation, because both those queues,
resorts,
trust me, at the end of the night, you're gonna walk out of the park you're in,
and
you're gonna walk to the bus stop.
They're the furthest bus stop.
At every park.
They're the furthest bus stop.
And then usually they actually have two bus stops for that one resort, because there are that many people in the queue. And I know what you're thinking. You're gonna look at it and you're like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I don't want to deal with this. But they make sure the buses keep coming for those resorts. Unlike when we stayed at Riverside, where we had a queue probably as long as the Pop Century queue.
Oh, but the buses, maybe a bit shorter,
but the buses were not as frequent.
Yeah,
they were nowhere near. You actually had to keep waiting. Like, it wasn't like one pulled off and one rolled in. And like I said, I don't know if it's the time. I don't know if it's the time of year we were or anything. I have no idea if it was more busier in the whole resort. I do not know, but all I can tell you is there were buses for Pop Century. There was never not a bus for Pop Century. Even in the mornings when we left from our resort, there were always buses. We didn't really have to wait that long. We also found out, because one morning we had a breakfast reservation at Epcot before the park opened, and we asked them, we said, so what happens, you know, because I know buses don't come, they come an hour before the park opens, but like our reservation was an hour before the park opens, so we had to get, you know what I mean, we had to get there earlier than that. And they said there are actually cameras, at least at Pop Century, there are cameras there, and when they see people waiting in the queue in the morning, they will start sending buses. Yeah. Obviously, if you start waiting at 4 AM, I'm not sure they will send a bus. But like, if you're there at like 7:30 and the park opens at 9, they probably know those people might have dining reservations, and
I think there has to be enough people too. I think if it was just two people who went really early, they probably wouldn't bother, but yeah. So that was also a really good perk, and we didn't wait long at Pop Century either. And like, they only have like 3 lines like this. Like chains.
It would fill up there, but it wouldn't really fill up past that point.
No.
So the downside of Pop Century, you're probably not going to be able to sit down on the bus. It is highly unlikely you were going to get a seat on a bus. Except that, obviously, you know, we being young, I would get up for a pregnant woman, an older person,
or
people
like
with kids. So like, maybe if you're one of those categories, you're probably going to get a seat, because usually you have generous people who are going to get up. But yeah, you might not get a seat, so just prepare yourself to not get a seat on the bus.
I don't think, like, sometimes we were probably like, dang, I wish we could have a seat. But I guess we're young and it's not that big a deal for us. But I will say, I think the transport here was better than the 2 moderates that we've stayed at. Like, it was much more frequent, and this was the first, actually I think only Riverside had 2 transportation, but that was only a boat to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
So we only had buses, but the bus system here worked great. Like, I think it was better than the moderate resorts, and
it was.
That's a lot saying that.
Another amazing thing about this resort, which fits into this category, I'm just going to mention it here, maybe it's more of a tip, but Art of Animation is literally right across the lake, and a lot of people think that's such a big walk. It's not, it's 10 minutes. It
Less
is like
than 10 minutes.
It is like not even that, okay, it depends where your room is, I guess, but it's not even that big of a walk. So if the Art of Animation queue is really short and you can get on that Art of Animation bus, and you notice the queue for Pop Century, no matter what park you're at, is really long, go get on the Art of Animation bus.
Yeah, we did that.
Get to Art of Animation and walk over, because you're probably guaranteed to still get there before those people who are still in the end of the queue of the Pop Century bus.
Yeah.
And vice versa, if you're at Art of Animation and the Pop Century queue is short. It's just going to save you time, and you can do that with these 2 resorts because they are so close and in walking distance of each other.
Yeah.
So,
and at all the parks, they are
right next to
the bus stops are always next to each other, so that's a good thing too. You can look at both and be like, okay, which one's shorter, and then decide, you know, do we want to, if Art's shorter, we'll go there and just walk back, or if Pop's around the same, just go to Pop, and you know, you can make that decision quite easily.
So for transport, we decided to give it a 9 out of 10. Couldn't give it like a 10 out of 10 for the reasons of you're always probably going to be standing.
Yeah.
And it is busy, so you're always going to be standing. You do get squished in on that bus.
Well, not always. We did sit.
We did sit, but I mean, like, prepare yourself to... Don't mentally go in every time thinking you're going to get a seat, because you're going to be very, very disappointed when that doesn't happen. Maybe that's going to change when the gondola opens from Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You might be more inclined to get a seat now. I don't know. Yeah, be prepared not to get a seat. So we gave it a 9 out of 10 because we think it is one of the best transportation systems we have used at Disney World.
From a resort.
Yeah, from a resort, yeah. So on to the next category, which is affordability, and this resort pretty much nails it.
Aced it.
Like, you couldn't get any better. This is the first time we have stayed at a value resort for a long period of time. Before this, we'd only stayed at values for 1 night before a Disney cruise that we'd been on, so that really doesn't count. This is the first time we stayed at value for a really long period of time. And in case you don't know, Disney resorts are into different categories. So you have value, moderate, deluxe, deluxe villa. They get more expensive as you go up. You get more perks, benefits as you go up, as in more transport available to you, close to the parks, etc.
More likely to get a seat.
Probably more likely to get a seat. I don't know, we've never stayed at deluxe, so who knows. There was a value resort, so already that's telling you it's one of the cheapest resorts you can get on property. It usually is the 2nd cheapest after the All-Stars. The All-Stars are usually the cheapest, and then it goes Pop Century. So it's not the cheapest resort you can stay at, but it is one of the cheapest. And I thought it was absolutely incredibly amazing for the price you pay.
Yeah, for that price, like, I can understand some people will say like, oh, the price for a deluxe is so worth it. But yeah, this price for what you get was amazing, because it really wasn't that different to a moderate in my, because they've done the upgrades to the rooms where you now have 2 queen beds.
The only thing you're missing is like the double sinks, which some moderates have double sinks, you only have 1.
Yeah, but some moderates also only have one as well.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't that different to the size. It felt really nice in the rooms. We had a huge TV again. It was, the rooms, the resort, for everything you get. And for, you know, including that, we always had good transportation. Like, everything about our stay was really good and we loved it. So for the price that we paid, that was, you know.
Yeah, this is one of the most affordable places to stay at. I honestly don't believe, if you are going to Disney World for the first time and you know you're going to spend a lot of time in the parks, please do not waste your money on a moderate or deluxe resort. Unless you have an older person with you who's not going to go to the parks, then maybe pay it, because they're a bit more comfortable and not as like kiddish Disney in your face. But if you're one of those people that you're going to wake up at 8 AM and you're not going to come home till midnight, so you're not going to be at your resort at all, don't even bother looking anywhere else, just stay at Pop Century. The beds are absolutely comfortable.
So
you're paying way cheaper prices than what you're gonna pay at moderate or deluxe. Like deluxe is just like out of this world expensive. So it is so cheap. I can't even fathom how affordable this resort is, and I'm gonna recommend it to absolutely everybody that I know if they're going to Disney for the first time. And even if you have little kids, they're gonna love it. We're gonna talk about theme later, but it is so worth the price you pay. I think we got it, I gotta try and remember because prices have changed. Now I think it's at about $200 a night.
We got it
for $170. I think it was between $150 and $170 a night, which is one of the cheapest, because I think All Stars are about $140.
Yeah.
So it was around that, but it is so affordable, and for that reason it's a 10 out of 10. Like you can't beat this for what you get. You cannot beat this resort on affordability. I think it is the most affordable resort that then has everything else that ticks boxes. Yeah. That's why it's a 10 out of 10. Because it is absolutely amazing for that fact.
Yeah.
So
it's not just because, oh yeah, it's cheap, so of course it gets we did consider the other facts that, you know,
everything you get for how cheap it is.
And yeah, like the quality of stuff that we got for that price is amazing.
Yeah, so 10 out of 10 for affordability. Now, on to the next category, which is probably my favorite, and that is theme.
Yeah.
So, as we explained in the beginning when I was talking about the buildings, Pop Century is based on decades. You got 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And each little cluster of buildings is themed to that decade. I just don't think you can beat the theming of that resort. Like Art of Animation is amazing. But what I mean is, like, it's when you're in the 50s, it's 50s. So you, like, we had Lady and the Tramp in our area because Lady and the Tramp was a movie that came out in the 50s. We had a bowling pin pool because shaped like a bowling pin. And that's because in the 50s, bowling was very big. It was a popular sport to play. And so this sort of continued on.
They also had
every area.
For each section on the buildings. They had written phrases that were common, which was really cool. Yeah. So that were common for that. I can't exactly remember.
Yeah, I remember like the 80s had like totally and all that, you know, those sort of words. So like the theming was amazing. It's not like a deluxe resort where it's like beautiful. It literally is just a concrete building with slapped on, you know, some pictures and stuff and words on it, and they're all painted differently and whatnot. And I'm assuming the colors are probably in time with the era that they're in.
It's not subtle Disney. It's just Disney.
It's in your face, Disney. Disney's getting vomited in your face at this resort. But like, it is so spot on with its theme. You can't knock it. Like it is so well done with the theme. Inside the rooms though, obviously you're not going into a room that looks like the 50s. They all look the same. They're all modern. They're all beautiful rooms. So apart from the rooms, which are not on theme, which that's probably the only thing. The rooms aren't on theme, but everything outside of that room is on theme. It's amazing. And then when you walk through the lobby across from the check-in area, they actually have this wall which is all memorabilia from all those decades, which is really cool to go check out. Cool. So if you're in the area, I would honestly still go and check it out, because there's some things there like old computer game consoles or t-shirts or band albums that were popular from the different decades. It was really well done. Also, when we were there, we noticed the Christmas decorations.
Oh my gosh.
My Christmas decorations. So even they were themed, like every resort, but they were themed so well.
Spot on.
To this,
it was like
resort.
Vintage Christmas decorations, and because it's based on older time periods, so the vintage decorations worked because they had like vintage cards and vintage looking Santas and like decorations that you'd probably put on your tree, you know, years and years ago. Like, so it really fit, and we absolutely loved, like, it was actually, we went to a lot of resorts to look at their Christmas decorations because we love looking at Christmas stuff. We just love Christmas. And we actually thought that Pop's
was on the
theming, like the theming they picked for their Christmas decorations for the resort was one of the best to match that resort. Like, it was really good.
Very bright and colourful, like that resort is. Maybe that's also why we liked it. Like, we could be biased because we love bright and colourful Christmas trees. I don't know, but yeah, it was amazing. Another thing, even the Christmas music, once again, we were there at Christmas. The Christmas music was like the old school Christmas music. You're not going to hear the new tunes like Mariah Carey or anything like that, Michael Bublé. You're hearing like the really old school Christmas tunes that I could imagine my dad was listening to on the radio, like back in the 50s or 60s. And another thing I do want to point out with theme, they have changed this. We did pick up on it, I think, when we stayed at Caribbean Beach. I don't think I mentioned it in the video though, but this is how good Disney is with the theme now of their resorts. on
yeah,
the
I know
bus,
what you're saying.
on the bus well, not to the parks. To the parks, I think it plays generic, like if you go to Magic Kingdom, it's gonna play Magic Kingdom music.
Yeah.
But on the way back, it plays music for your resort. So what that means is, on the way back, we were hearing songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah, really
probably more
old-school
older.
music.
There wasn't much of 90s, I would say. Probably
No.
more older music.
It was, yeah.
And like that just also fit in with the
so
theme.
much
So
fun.
before you rock up at your resort, you're already in this mindset of going back in time.
Yeah.
We have like this one great memory. We're all on a bus. It's like midnight.
You're coming home from Magic.
Everyone's half
Everyone's
asleep.
drained. Like,
It wasn't a full bus either. We did have to stand though, but it wasn't like completely packed.
Yeah.
Like the standing capacity. Like we weren't squished in. And Sweet Caroline came on, which I think
Yeah.
is like from the 70s.
yeah.
70s, 80s, when that song came on, it's like everybody just started
Like it lifted
singing
out.
along to Sweet Caroline. That's the one reason I'd say it pops into again, is just for that
Yeah.
reason, because the music coming home, it's like we all bonded over Sweet Caroline that
Yeah.
night.
We all sang it
We all
together.
had a
It was
moment
so
of singing Sweet Caroline together, and it was beautiful. So the theme of this resort, it's 10 out of 10. It's spot on. You can't fault it. It fits very well. Like
Yeah.
everything fits.
And I know some people say, like, I've heard some people say, oh, I'm not into like that decades theme though, but I don't know if you necessarily even have to be into it. Like, it's a cool theme. Like, it just,
You also learn a lot.
yeah, like it's
You
not,
learn about when things were popular, which I wouldn't have known. But then you go there and you're like, Rubik's Cubes in the 80s. You're like, oh, they were popular in the 80s. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
did know that, but there's other examples that I didn't know. Like, I think we learnt
like
things.
Play-Doh was the 60s. and-
Yeah, like there were other things
Yeah.
that, so it's almost like a learning experience. So you could take your kids there and they can learn about the
Yeah,
different decades.
and I think I think it's a resort that anyone could like, because it's not also, it is a lot of Disney in your face, but it also has, like Ali was saying, like the Rubik's Cube, like it has
the bowling pins,
a lot of like the
big records.
the value resorts, how they have those big icons. It has a lot of those, but they're not just Disney. There's, you know,
They're relevant to the
Yeah.
decade. Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10
10.
from us for theming, because it was
We loved it.
so well done. Next is amenities and entertainment, / entertainment. So just put this all together. If you keep seeing me look down, I've got like a little notepad that I've written things on, and I'm trying not to forget everything. So this includes stuff like the pool, the arcade, the activities that you can do, and like the laundry, because that's an amenity at the Disney resorts, which we use. So we're going to include front desk
yeah, like the
area, because I guess it's an amenity, like having the front desk there to
like the
ask
concierge and
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
it,
that.
that's it. So amenities, there are 3 pools that pops in. I have to try and remember. There's one in the 80s area, one in our area in the 50s.
There's like the computer pool,
The bowling pin pool, and the
Bowling
hippy
pin
dippy
and the
pool,
hippy
which is the main pool in the 60s area, which is like directly
really big.
straight out of the food court area. It is boom in your face right there. Pools were great. We went swimming
Yeah.
in both pools, and we didn't go the 80s because it was like too
but
far.
we went and walked by and it looked good.
It looked good. It's just
Yeah.
a big square pool. It's a computer pool.
But like it
It's a
looked
square.
clean and like,
Oh yeah, the
like,
pools.
there were people
You
swimming
can't
in
fault. Entertainment. The only form of entertainment which we both wore on purpose
Yeah.
is we did tie-dye shirts, which used to only really be available at Pop Century, I believe. I think that was the first resort to start doing it.
Yeah,
because
one of the
it
first.
fits with the 60s, you know, having tie-dye. Now most resorts actually do tie-dye shirts, so we wore these because we actually did this at our resort.
Yeah.
So we have never really gone out and done activities at our resort before. We've always wanted to, but then we just never have.
Yeah, this
and
time
it
we
was
did.
great. It's so well run. The people are really
It was
nice.
really cheap too. Like you're just paying for the shirt. I think
You
it
pay
was
for the shirt.
$16.
You're paying for a shirt, and
Yeah.
then you just go ahead and make it
And it
however
was
you
fun.
want. And it was fun. It was something different. Like
Yeah.
we've never done that
And it's
before.
also like a souvenir, like a fun thing
Yeah,
to take
exactly.
home.
They also obviously have, we walked past when they were playing pool trivia, and it
Yeah.
sounded like a lot of people are enjoying
Pool
that.
games.
They have pool games, they had movie nights. We didn't
Yeah.
do all these things, but they have all these things.
Yeah.
So we have to mention them.
I think they have
all
like
resorts,
scavenger hunts.
yeah,
and stuff
scavenger
too.
hunts. All resorts have these though.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to put it out on a limb here and say that they're probably more popular at your value resorts than your moderate and then deluxe. I feel like you go to deluxe, you might have one person turn up for movie night. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But whereas at a value resort, if you have kids, you're gonna have a whole lot of people turn up
Yeah.
for those movie nights. That's like, if that's a thing, you know, if your kids enjoy doing activities at resorts, there would be more people for them to do those activities with at the
Yeah.
value resorts. Just because of the demographic that is there. Compared to deluxe, like I've seen before in some videos where they're doing pool trivia or something, and there's just like one person in the
And
pool.
is it
In
Pop
the-
or Art that has the biggest arcade? I can't remember.
Art.
Oh, okay. But Pop still had a very
really big arcade.
Because
I think it's called like the Rewind Arcade or something. Once again, fit in with the theme because it's like on back time.
So
we didn't go in there, so I don't even know if it has vintage arcade. I don't think it has vintage arcades. I think it's just
I think it was like
have.
the other arcades.
Yeah. So yeah, amenities were amazing, and we also used the laundry multiple times. Laundry is so easy to use. You can't use your Magic Band for the laundry though, so note to self, it's like that for every Disney resort though. You have to use a credit card to get your machine and whatnot. It's quite cheap, it's affordable, it's really not that expensive for a laundry. Like honestly, it's not that bad. We had one little slight issue with the laundry, and we're not sure if it's because of these shirts or not, because I'm to blame as well. So I did this shirt, and then you keep it for a certain amount of time and you wash it at what point, how colorful you want your shirt to be, if that makes sense. So like I went and washed mine in one of the washing machines on its own, and yeah, it was fine. But like when we did another load of washing of our normal clothes, we noticed like, I think it was some of my shirts, some of your shirts, it had this weird purpley inky stuff on it, and I'm not sure if that's because...
Did you put it in the same machine as this after?
No.
Okay.
No, it was a separate night. It was a completely different night.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we noticed that some of our clothes then had this weird dye on it, and we didn't do the washing wrong, so it wasn't like it was our fault. We knew there was something else in there, so I'm not sure if it's because of these tie-dye shirts. Because like I think this resort, maybe it's more popular, I don't know if that's something to consider. All resorts sort of do the tie-dye shirts now, so this could be an issue at all resorts.
But it came out.
It came out.
Yeah.
But it was just this weird, like I had a white shirt, then all of a sudden it had like
it was
purpley dye sort of stuff on it, and I was like, this is weird. But then other shirts didn't, so it was almost like it must have been sitting on some edges of this machine. I don't know, because like we had other white shirts in that wash and they were completely fine. They came out white, and I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
That was our only issue. Otherwise, laundry is really easy to use. So
yeah, and the laundries too. Every time we went, I don't know if we just went at good times, but considering it's such a busy resort,
oh no. When you were sick, I went and there was not one available, and I had to wait.
Oh well, every time I went, there was like no one in there, or maybe one other person.
Yeah.
So
it is better. Note to self: no matter what resort you're staying at, do your laundry in the day if you can. Like if you come back in the afternoon, try and do some laundry then, because everybody does it at night, because that's when they're all back at the resort. So maybe that's a note to self, because I did notice a difference. We did once in the daytime, I think, at like lunchtime.
I did nighttime and it was fine as well. So I guess it really just depends.
It depends, but it did get busy.
Yeah, overall laundry was...
Yeah, overall amenities of this whole resort was really good. Entertainment, like I said, apart from we really did the tie-dye, and we overheard the trivia happening in the pool, but we didn't really participate in many other entertainment activities at our resort. Like they were there, we just didn't do them.
Yeah, so the only thing I'm going to quickly touch on in terms of like I include as amenities is like using the front desk and the concierge and stuff like that. So we did have an issue which they resolved, but when I had to keep going, when this issue happened, I had to go back to the front desk like 3 times, and every time I go I'd have to wait again, and there was a huge... Now listen, I was doing this at night until we got back, and it was about 10 to 11. Like I was doing it right before they closed, and you'd think, oh, it probably wouldn't be busy at that time of night. No, it was packed. There was a huge queue. I think maybe people would come in and they were checking in. Like
this is the concierge side too.
And even concierge queue, it was huge at that time of night. So like... Sorry
if I'm moving my neck, it's just tense, sorry.
Yeah, so I was like, you know, oh, this is a bit annoying, and you'd think if the queue was that big that they would maybe have, like it seems like they did have a lot of people, but yeah, maybe
they mainly had 2. There were more... They could have had more people.
I think they had 2 of each. They had like 2 for check-in and 2
and they could have had way more, but they didn't. It's late
at
night. I understand they might not have crew on, like stuff on at the time, so.
Yeah, but that was just a bit of an inconvenience. Like I felt like even other times from just that night, every time you wanted to go to the concierge or the check-in, like any of those, it was a...
I think this is the downside of it being a value resort and being such a busy resort, is that it does take some time. You're not going to get in straight away, unfortunately. So that's probably the only thing we could really bring it down on.
That's all I really could fault it on.
So we gave amenities / entertainment a 9 out of 10 because we thought they do a fantastic job at everything they do there. So 9 out of 10. Now onto our last category before we wrap this up. The last one, it is restaurants. There is only one restaurant at Popstar. It's not even a restaurant, but you know what I mean, it's a food place.
Food court, yeah.
It's a food court. I'm forgetting its name right now. I forget its name. It's there. There's a food court there. We were not overly impressed with the food court.
None of the food we got was bad, but like just in terms of like
what
the
you can,
options.
the options. It's just like, okay, there
Yeah.
was one, it does fit with the theme. There was one area that was like, think like
Yeah,
mum's kitchen type thing.
Yeah.
Because it was like roast with potato, you know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. Like
your mum's style
homemade
cooking.
meal,
Yeah.
but we're not really into that.
Yeah.
So like maybe this is all us as well. There's
Personal
always your burger, your nuggets, and then the pizza section. Oh my god, we had an amazing pizza there. So
Yeah.
the pizza was good, but
and I was
yeah,
always
it's
busy too.
yeah, it's like that's all there is. There wasn't like a big amount of variety. It didn't really, nothing there made me go, oh yum, like I really want this food right now. And like the food wasn't bad. It's like standard food court food.
Yeah.
Like, what we didn't eat there much. But when we did, apart from that pizza, the pizza was good. I don't know if I was really hungry. I was sick that day.
We had nuggets the first night. We
had
had a
pizza.
breakfast once
We had a
before we
breakfast.
went to Universal.
Yeah, I had some like Mickey waffles. They were okay.
I had like a bagel, which was quite good. But and then we had pizza. I think that was the only times.
Yeah, but for us, I think there are way better food courts.
Yeah.
On Disney property, one of them being just over the lake.
So that's a perk.
We went there a lot to Art of Animation. So their food court
has a lot more
I'm not
variety.
going to say 1000% better, but if you get what I mean, it's like 1000% better.
Some people say it's the best food court on Disney property.
Disney property, yeah.
And we really love the options.
We agree
there.
with it. It's
like
amazing.
they have healthier options, but they still have the like it's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So they still have the classic burgers and stuff for those people, but then they have more
Make
like
your own pasta.
yeah, like not necessarily just healthy, but just different types of food, like a lot more variety.
And I don't know if the chefs are better over there or like what it is, but just like the food is so much better out of animation. So like if you're staying at Pop Century, don't let this deter you from staying at Pop Century.
Yeah.
Because it's still amazing. And guys, guess what? It's only a 10-minute walk to Art of Animation, which really isn't that far if you think about how much walking you do.
In a
so
day,
say you want breakfast in the morning, wake up, walk to Art of Animation, and just catch the bus from Art of Animation. Yeah, exactly. Catch the bus from Art of Animation to whatever park you're going to go to. Even their breakfast. They have my favorite breakfast item. It's a smoothie bowl. It is so good. You can only get it from Art of Animation. Don't let this deter you from staying at Pop Century because Art of Animation
think of it
is
as like
across
a
the
perk.
lake.
So you're paying less than staying at Art of Animation.
Yeah, and you just walk over there.
But it's a really quick walk, and you get to use their food court, which is considered to some people as one of the best food courts in Disney.
So that is the one amazing thing about food at this resort is you're really close to Art of Animation. Like it's not bad food. You're probably gonna love it. Maybe if you're American, you might like it more. I think it obviously goes by taste. Like we don't. Yeah. I'm not gonna say we don't like American food, but it's not big on our list. We sometimes prefer other type of food. It's just not our thing. It depends what you like. Everyone's different with food. So we gave it, I think this is the worst score we've ever given any food.
Yeah.
We gave it a 6.5 because we couldn't decide if we wanted to give it a 6 or a 7. So we went smack bang in the middle. So yeah, 6.5. So this is the only thing that really brings down this resort. But then you got Art of Animation not that far away and that has the best. Yeah, so our overall opinions of this resort, would you stay there again?
100%.
1000%. I think I would stay
I
this resort
actually
every
loved
time.
it. Like, and I'm actually going to say that I think it was out of the 3 resorts
we say this every time.
I know, but out of the 3 resorts we've stayed a longer period now.
It's my favorite resort.
I actually think it's my favorite, and it's cheaper than the other 2.
It beats Riverside and Caribbean.
Yeah, like each has their own theme and their own like they're all good in their own sense. Just from like thinking about all that stuff like transportation, how we could go to Art of Animation for the food, like just the theming and everything. We really loved
the rooms, the way the rooms are laid out are amazing.
Like that we still got 2 queen beds, but we were only in a value, and the room felt spacious. So
yeah, I would 100% stay here again, and I think it is my favorite too. But I think we say it's our favorite. We are still at this age where we go to the parks a lot. Yeah. Once again, like we stayed at Riverside mainly for my dad, and I think he loved Riverside for that reason. Yeah. So it depends on who you're going with. If you're young or you have a young family, 1000% stay at Pop Century. It is the resort for you because you're going to be out in the parks most of the time, or you're just going to be in the pool. And okay, they don't have slides at their pools in the value resorts, but the pools are still great.
They're still fun. Like
they have balls and stuff to play play with and a volleyball net.
They had big, because it was the hippy dippy pool, they had like giant flower petals that sprayed water
and big
out,
beach balls that people would like pop around.
And we went swimming and it was fun. They play music.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, I would 1000%, especially if it's just us two, or if I'm doing a solo trip, 100%. I'm gonna stay at Pop Century. We're going back to Disney this year. We're not staying at Pop Century, but we're taking our parents.
Well, we are for one night. Actually.
We are for one night, yeah, because once again our flights.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we were actually happy to stay there again this year, but then we found other deals and whatnot, so I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, I would stay here again, and this is the resort I recommend people. If you're starting off at Disney, maybe stay here first. Unless you have the money to splurge, so stay at a deluxe or a moderate, go for it. But if you don't, I would recommend Pop Century to everyone and anyone I know. And I just want to put out that, because we keep saying it's for young people, we did see older people. Yeah, Pop Century. It wasn't like it was just full of young people. Like there were older people in scooters and whatnot. So I just want to, in case people are thinking I'm like it's just for kids or young people, it's not. There was a really big, diverse group.
Yeah, there was like grandparents and
yeah. All we're saying is they might not enjoy it as much if they go back and want to have those like quiet areas in the resort. So Pop Century, stay there, everyone. It is an amazing resort, and I don't think I mentioned, but overall it's a 9 out of 10. Obviously the restaurant score brought it down a little bit. We averaged it out. So it's a 9 out of 10. If you are looking at going to Disney World, or you're thinking about staying at Pop Century, just do it. If you're already looking, you already know that you want to stay there, just stay there. I don't think you will regret it at all. And a lot of people love this resort. This is one of people's most popular resorts. So there you go, everyone. Stay at Pop Century. It is an amazing resort. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry, it has probably gone for the longest time. I try to not talk so much, and then it's just like you remember everything that happened, and it just like, it's like word vomit. It just comes out. So yeah, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you like Pop Century, which you should, because Pop Century is amazing. We'll get to review more resorts at the end of the year, because we're going to stay in a couple of more that we've never stayed at. Yeah, you heard that right.
Yeah, we're doing
2 more resorts we have never stayed at. Oh my god, I get to add more pins to my resort pin collection that I've got going up here. Thank you again for watching, and be sure to keep a lookout for a video on my channel. Whenever that happens, it will happen. Another video will appear. I just can't tell you when, because I don't stick to a schedule, because I'm not a great YouTuber. So I'll see you all sometime in the very near future. Bye!